guys, welcome back to Real Housewives Recaps. Today I'm covering 90 Day Fiancé. I'm focusing on episode 11, Hard to Say I'm Sorry, but this actually also includes episode 10. And the reason I did that is because episode 10 was a total snooze fest. Not much happened. So I'm going to be talking about it as well as episode 11. I'll be kind of combining them just to save you the headache that I went through. 3 hours of television where not much happened. So let's get into it. Let's talk about what's going on with these crazy couples. Hey guys, I just want to take a second and say if you're enjoying this show, please check out my Patreon. Go to patreon.com, search Real Housewives Recaps, or check the comments below and I'll put a link. And for $1 a week, you can support my show and get 4 bonus episodes per month. I'm covering Scary Island, like the greatest season of Real Housewives of New York. So check it out. Thanks so much. Okay, let's start out with Tim and Jen, probably my least favorite couple on the show. They've been in Colombia for 2 weeks. He's from Charlotte, North Carolina. Yesterday, she met his ex via Skype. This was a huge deal because she's very jealous of the ex. She doesn't understand why she's still in his life, and yeah. The phone call went okay. It was a little weird. The ex asked about their sex, and since they're not having any, Jennifer was not happy about that at all. Anyway, so now we pick up. Tim is Skyping with Veronica by himself, his ex, and he's saying he needs advice. He's trying to decide whether or not he wants to get engaged, which is so crazy because all they do is fight, him and Jennifer. They can't go a day without fighting, and he's talking about getting engaged to her. So then we catch up with Tom and Darcy. They are in Nottingham, his hometown. They've come back from Albania. Now, Albania was a complete disaster, but they're doing okay in Nottingham. So they're meeting up with Emma and her partner Ricardo, and they're going to go salsa dancing. Apparently, this is something that brother and sister do all the time. They love to salsa dance. Didn't know that was still a thing, but that's cool. And so this is just not going well because Darcy has this insane jealousy she just needs to be attention all the time, center of attention all the time. And so with salsa dancing, the idea is that you dance with multiple partners. So you can imagine how well this goes over. She does okay when he and sister dance, not okay when everybody else comes up and wants to dance with him. So, yeah. Sister's boyfriend is trying to explain that's how the dancing culture works. Sister says you kind of have to be a whore on the dance floor. But she just wants all the attention. She's not getting it. So she wants to make sure everybody else knows she's upset. So she's complaining and whining. And sister ends up taking her outside to have a talk with her. Like, chill out. So then we go over to Ben and Akini. So they have taken a weird turn. He is there in Kenya thinking that, at the end of this week, they'd probably get engaged. Well, part of that is in her culture, there's something called a bride price. It's something you pay the family to show respect, before marrying the daughter. Okay. So he's going to negotiate that tomorrow. And she just drops a bomb on him that says, yeah, once that's negotiated, we're considered married. And he's like, what? What's this now? So he's sweating bullets. He's saying, I love Akini, but I just met her. Didn't know he was going to be marrying her less than 2 weeks later after meeting her. So he has a son that she hasn't met yet. And I just find this so strange that he's willing to do this. So, yeah. So he's sweating bullets, understandably so. But he is a complete nutbag. He still cannot let this drinking thing go. He showed some weird control issues. He really gives me the creeps. Then we go over to Omar and Avery. So they just got married, and they've been together in Lebanon for 10 days. Of course, he's from Syria. They had to meet in Lebanon because the war in Syria, they can't go there. She's got to fly back to the U.S. She's really bummed out about it. So they are Pouty McPowderson here. She's going to go home and apply for the spousal visa. Then her plan is to move to Syria. Just think about that. While they wait for the visa to come through. She says it's so hard to leave him. and he says the separation will be hard for him, and they've gotten used to each other. So they're both mopey, understand, they don't want to separate. She just doesn't want to go home. They keep hugging and crying. And she said she's grateful for all the time she's had with Omar. So then we're with Rebecca and Zied. They've been in Tunisia for 2 weeks, and their time is coming to an end. They spent the last 2 days together in the Sahara, and she still has not told him that she is currently married. What's weird to me is she's making a huge deal out of this. It doesn't have to be a huge deal. First of all, she should have told him when they were talking on the phone. But the way she's dropping this bomb on him is so strange, because she's like, we're still married. You're sleeping with a married woman. Do you think he wants to hear that? Maybe explain, listen, in America, it takes a while. We are separated. We have signed the papers. We're on our way. We're doing everything we can to get divorced. Well, the way she puts it, though, is we're still married, and it makes it so uncomfortable, and he's shocked, and he's angry, and I mean, I don't want to say I blame her, but I kind of blame her. Well, I do blame her here. She should have told him earlier. It should have come up, and the way she said it was so weird. It was like building tension for the show, but I do believe he had a genuine reaction because he got pissed. So then we go over to Angela and Michael. Angela and Michael are in Nigeria. Okay, so this is kind of wild. He's got these friends. She calls them the goofballs. And I think she is the worst of the bunch. I really do. I think she is I haven't watched previous seasons. I say this every episode, but I haven't. I know they were on a previous season. I did not watch it. So maybe I have this all wrong. But from what I could tell, she's the problem, not him. She has this insane jealousy issue. She reveals that she's had all this tension with him because, okay, so she lives in Georgia, right? He's in Nigeria. One night she didn't feel good, and she wanted him to stay home for emotional support. Again, not home with her, just at his home in Nigeria. Well, he didn't. He went out with friends. So now not only is she still pissed at him, she's pissed at his friends. How weird is that? How insane controlling is that? Wouldn't you just be like, cool, babe, have fun. I don't feel good. I'll talk to you in the morning. Like, this is so crazy. So back to Tim and Jen. So in a few days, he's leaving Colombia. He's feeling very confused. He says this is his last shot. He has that ring that Veronica gave him in case he decides to propose. Oh my gosh, Tim. I don't understand this at all. There's so many things going on here that I don't understand. They have not slept together. She has basically begged him, and they have not slept together. Listen, that's their business. I get it, but they're putting it on TV, so I'm going to judge it. If it was religious reasons, I get that. Fine, whatever. It doesn't seem to be that, because they snuggle up in the same bed, and he talks about wanting to sleep with her, but it sounds like when it's time to do it, he just rolls over and goes to sleep. This is like when they're first getting together. So if it's not hot then, it's definitely not going to be hot after you get married. It's so weird. So he plans this romantic surprise for her, and she's very happy about it. But she even brings up, like, what's up with the sex, And he never gives a real answer. He says he got in his own head before he got spooked. So that's why he didn't do it. But that was one time. It's been 3 weeks. What's happening? So, I don't know. I just wonder if he's got some issues going on there that are slowing him down. He just doesn't want to talk about it on TV. Fine, But it's just weird that he won't talk to her about it. Anyway, so he thinks it's a good idea to plan this picnic, and it's romantic, it's beautiful, they're overlooking the mountains, she's very happy. He takes a walk with her. This is where he really screws up. He's like, he's telling her, basically he sets it up, I'm just at a loss for words because it's so stupid. He's setting it up like he's proposing, and he's saying how happy she's made him, and pulls out this ring. So she thinks she's getting engaged, and she's shocked and happy and excited. Well, he tells her, hey babe, this is an engagement ring. This is after they hug. This is a promise ring. And that's not a thing where she's from. She's like, what's a promise ring? And he says, it's something. I promise I'll continue to work on it. I'll work on our relationship. And this is her reaction to that. Like, what? Again, she brings up the sex. She actually asks him if he's gay, which I was kind of surprised about. But he's like, no. He promises to have sex with her sometime before he leaves Colombia. What? So then back to Avery. She's headed home to Columbus, Ohio. She's saying she just didn't expect it to be this hard. Her mom and stepdad are going to go pick up Avery from the airport, and Mom is so concerned because right before she left Lebanon, Avery sprung it on her, hey, I'm going to move to Syria. And understandably, Mom was very upset. So she said she's going to do everything she can to try to stop her from moving to Syria. Turns out it takes between 9 months and 3 years to get a visa. And Avery's saying, well, I'll go there and wait with him. So stepdad seems like the most logical of the bunch. He's like, why'd you drop the bombshell on your mom right before she left the airport, or right before she left Lebanon? And turns out Avery told her job she's probably not coming back, but she didn't tell her mom. She's just being a shit and giving shitty answers. And she says she feels like she has to choose between her family and Omar. Ugh, she's so annoying. So today's the day where they negotiate the bride price. And once that happens, they will be married. He's worried because he's never gotten a figure on the bride price. And he's saying, as part of it, I'm expected to bring them certain groceries. So they went and stocked up at the grocery store yesterday. My main concern is not having enough money to honor the parents. He says he's going to do a withdrawal from the bank today. So she wants to know, how much are you taking? And he says 80,000 shillings. Well, that's $800. She says she doesn't think that's enough. And she says he has to sort it out with her dad. She says that money is insulting. And she says, be prepared to explain yourself because they won't understand. Well, it's so awkward. He ends up pulling out a ring and proposing to her right there. And she's very happy. But still, this bride price is like looming over them. And he's broke. He gives all his money to his son to take care of his son. So, good luck with that. Back to Angela and Michael. So they're meeting up with the quote-unquote goofballs. That's what she calls them. Because they met yesterday and it did not go well. She threw a drink on them because she's so pissed that Michael went out. This is so ridiculous. But she likes his friend Bodie here. Bodie? And he's going to help mediate with the other friends. So the other friends show up. Michael hopes to make peace. So she says over and over, she's apologizing for how she acted, throwing drinks and stuff, but she won't forget or be their friends. They said they didn't mean to hurt her. She's saying basically like that she thinks they were a bad influence. She doesn't know if Michael should be around them. And they're like, no, we're not a bad influence. She's just crazy. They even tried to talk to her yesterday at the meeting and be like, look, we just think you're controlling. And of course she had to control that situation, throw a drink on him. So I think she's way out of line and way possessive and needs to know where he is every single second of every single day. And that's never going to work. I mean, you just can't control somebody like that. It's crazy. So then we go to Tim and Jennifer the next morning, and he's given her this beautiful ring. So you think, okay, they must have had sex last night. Nope. He passed out instead. He says he was tired, and she says she doesn't understand and that he feels like the girl. She says, you're the girl in this relationship. Now, part of his thing is he doesn't like when she emasculates him, and her thing is she always emasculates him. So it's not going to work out. And so he has this really weird line where he says, I'm going to take her to a spa today because he wants someone to help her release the tension. He won't have sex with her, but he wants someone to help her release the tension. Okay, that makes sense. So they go get these spa treatments. and everything's going well. And she says, "This ring is so beautiful. Where did you get it?" And he says, "Well, that's a long story." He's such an idiot. He gave her his ex's ring. So he says, "There's something I should tell you about that ring." Of course, she's very jealous about everything. And so this is just not going to go well. He says, "I actually bought that ring for Veronica. And before he left, she says, 'Take this ring and give it to her.'" So then she gets super pissed and is like, "You're giving me the ring of your ex?" He says, "It's a promise ring." She says, "It's like Veronica gave me this ring, not Tim." And she says, "Whatever, I don't want it. It's trash." And she's really pissed and takes her rings off and sets it beside the hot tub. So back to Tom and Darcy. Sister takes Darcy outside. They can see that Tom is salsa dancing with other women, and it's just made her completely jealous. They've tried to explain to her, no, that's how salsa works. You have to dance with a bunch of women. But she is captain, center of attention. It's got to be all eyes on her all the time, otherwise it won't work. And I like the sister because she's very down to earth and is saying, "Listen, you're acting jealous, and this is something he loves to do." And Darcy keeps crying, and sister is saying, "Darcy, bless her, but she doesn't realize she's the jealous type." She says he's not a cat man, he's a free spirit, and if you stop him from being that, he won't like it. Darcy cries, and sister says it's okay, and she's just trying to explain he doesn't want a woman who's possessive or that needy. And Darcy's saying, "I don't want to F this up." And sister says, "You will if you act the way you're acting now." So sister asks if they are in a committed relationship. And she says, "Well, I think so. And I am. I hope he is." And she said, "Well, you need to ask him that yourself. It's better to be honest and know." So they walk up, and sister immediately says, "Darcy has a question for you," and totally puts Darcy on the spot. So Darcy asks Tom, "I need clarification, or are we exclusive?" And he says, "If you need clarification, then yes, we are exclusive." The sister says, "Yay!" It was so awkward because she did it right in front of the sister, and I don't know. But she says she's happy. It's 2 days until she leaves. She says, then she has to ruin it and say, "We're inching our way toward her proposal." So then we go back to Akini and Ben, and they're about to go negotiate this bride price. And if that works out, then they'll be married. So they're wearing these matching outfits. He's afraid he won't have enough for the bride price. He still doesn't know what the appropriate amount is. He's super nervous about it. And also they're running late, so that's not helping thing. She's explained to him that she has to go away while he negotiates this, and she can't see him until her father accepts the offer. So she goes to leave. He knocks on the door, and they carry in the groceries. So they're super pissed that he's late. And the sisters are there, the brother's there. Dad's explaining the requirements have to be done in order for this to work out. And then he says, "The ball's in your court, Benjamin." Ben doesn't know what to do. He presents the groceries and asks, "How do we continue to move forward?" Dad thanks him for the gifts. So this is real weird. And then Dad says, "This is what we do when you mourn. You bring groceries. This isn't how this is done." But it's Akini feeding him this information. She's the one that told him you bring groceries. She helped pick him out. So I really don't understand what's going on. He thinks he's totally messed up. He doesn't know what's going on either. Every step of the way, things have just felt weird as far as, I understand it's their culture, but I just mean that Ben is so weird, but also that Akini's not filling him in on all these steps, like getting the elders' permission and blessing and this groceries thing. He just wants to know how to do this to get it done. So then back to Zied and Rebecca. She tells him that she's still legally married. This is the thing she's been holding on to. And he's shocked. "What do you mean?" She's like, "We filed the papers with the court." I just think she handled this completely wrong. She should have told him this before, but she's presenting it a different way, I think. Like, she's making him feel bad that he slept with a married woman, but again, she's in the process of getting divorced, so I don't know. I just think she handled it all wrong. He is very shocked. He is very upset, and she's explained she has to go back to court to finish this process. And he says, "So now you're a married woman?" She said, "Yes." And she says, "I'm sorry." And he says, "I don't want to hear you're sorry. Why didn't you tell me this before?" Hello, that's the question I've been asking too. She says, "I don't know." He says, "This is not normal. He doesn't accept this. Your ex is not your ex." She says, "No, we both signed the papers." So Zied walks off, and he's pissed. And he says she makes him so angry, he feels like she lied to him, and he just wants her to go back to America. And she's trying to find him and say, "I'm sorry," and he says, "Don't talk to me right now." She says she's never seen him like this, and in a very dramatic move, he calls the ATV driver over, and he ends up riding off into the sunset with him. She says she's never felt this bad in her life, and she wants to throw up. And she, for whatever reason this keeps coming up, she thinks this is her last chance at love. So she's putting all her eggs in this basket because she thinks this is it. I don't even think that she thinks Zied is the love of her life. She just thinks this is her last chance at any kind of love. It really doesn't make sense. And I think she has low self-esteem, and I think it's weird that she didn't tell him this stuff beforehand. Guys, that is it for episode 10 and 11. How about that? 2 episodes in one. I so enjoy recapping this series. I think we have like 2 episodes left, and then we have the tell-all. I cannot wait for that tell-all. I have avoided spoilers, so I am dying to see. I really want to find out who's together, who's not. I have my guesses. I'm very curious to see if they come true and if I'm right. But such a good show. I'm really enjoying this. So hope you are too. I hope you guys have a fantastic week. Thank you so much for watching. Check out my other videos. Find me on Twitter at Real Recaps, and I just appreciate everything. Have a wonderful week. Bye-bye.